What's this video all about?
It's our race recap. Quick recap. What's up, Spartans? Welcome to our post-race recap. We just ran Jacksonville this past weekend.
Yep, good time.
Yeah, good time. First, I wanted to say our apologies for not getting some of the additional footage we wanted to get at the venue. It was packed. I wanted to get you to see some of the practice obstacles they had set up, but there was a ton of people.
Also, with it being the farm, it wasn't as easily accessible to get like further out to some of the obstacles as other venues.
Yeah,
great venue though.
Working farm. I mean, they put on a great event. Honestly, like it was just great all around. We just couldn't quite get to some of the areas we wanted to. We're gonna do a better job of that in Atlanta. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Coming up in a couple weeks.
Yep, we're 15. Speaking of Atlanta, we're 15 days out from Atlanta, so our pre-race video should be coming out pretty soon, and then of course our map breakdown shortly after that. So we'll start with your super.
All right, so I ran the super and the sprint. I'll go ahead and talk about super a little bit. It was a lot of fun. I PR'd. It was a PR. I didn't feel great about it during the race, but afterwards I realized I PR'd a super. I was like, okay, I feel a little bit better about it. A couple of things I noticed. There was a lot more mud than any other venue I've done. A lot of mud throughout the whole thing. It kind of like sucks your shoe in. You got to pull it out. So that was a little bit different. And something you didn't get to experience that I did in the super was the little boneyard they had. So many bones everywhere. It was crazy. It was just a unique experience. Definitely enjoyed the whole thing.
What's something that what's your least favorite part of that super?
All right, so my least favorite part of this particular super was when I went up to the A-frame and vertical cargo net. It was very loose at the beginning because I ran competitive, so I ran early, and there wasn't a lot of people when I got to those events, so there was a lot of slack in the rope, and it made you a little more nervous when you get up there and you stepping down like 3 levels every time you step into it.
I hate that every time.
So, but all in all, it was a good race. Like I said, I had fun doing it, but that was probably my least favorite part of the whole race.
So, what was your favorite part?
So, my favorite part of the race was definitely that boneyard I talked about. It's like it was like at mile 4 or something like that. Like I'm already tired on it, and then I see one bone, and then all of a sudden there's bone there. It just added a little level of badass to the race.
Nice.
It was kind of cool. So
nice.
I definitely enjoyed that. But what about the sprint?
So the sprint was interesting because it was a new venue, right? So, and you had already told me about the amount of mud that was out there.
So much.
I think you specifically said, however much mud you think there is, there's more. So I went out there, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for at least half this course to be full of mud. Bro, that course was 75% mud. And, I mean, it wasn't, okay, so it was deep mud, but it wasn't bad mud.
No, it wasn't horrible.
So I would say a couple of things that stood out to me the most was the amount of mud that we had on the course. Another thing that stood out to me was how dry it was out there. I mean, the humidity was super low. There was one point where I went to wipe my forehead to get some sweat for some grip, and I wasn't sweating. It was a perfect 68, 69 degrees out there, virtually no humidity.
Let me ask you now, what was your favorite part of the race?
My favorite part of this race had to be the back-to-back-to-back strength obstacles. We had Herc hoist, Atlas carry, and plate drag back-to-back-to-back. And there were several people complaining. Meanwhile, I'm in hog heaven. I'm like, oh, I don't have to run. I can just use my power. Oh, cool, let's do this. I mean, I feel like I picked up half a dozen or more positions on those obstacles because they were pretty much back to back to back, not very far in between each of them.
All right, so what about your least favorite? What was the worst moment of the race for you?
My least favorite part of the race was I had a bad attempt on the rope climb. The ropes were slick. And it was to the point where I don't know how your attempt went, but I got my hands up high. You want to get your hands up pretty high, as high as you can get them, and bring your lower body to meet it. Well, as I was grabbed from my upper body, and when I went to pull, I could feel the rope stretch. I could feel like the mud squeeze out around my hands, and my grip was gone. So I couldn't even get a chance to get my S grip for my feet. So it was a very bad attempt. But overall, I mean, it was a great race. I actually loved the venue, even with all the mud. I didn't mind the mud as much as I thought I would. It was a lot, but I didn't mind it as much as I thought I would.
So will you be back next year?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely. Jacksonville 2025 is already on the list.
We'll post our results below somewhere in here.
Yep,
somewhere. Let y'all know how we did.
So like we said at the beginning of the video, we'll have our pre-race video for Atlanta coming up soon, as well as our map breakdown when that comes out. So for now, it is good night and goodbye. We'll see y'all.
All right.